to join. Today, we are going to be talking about learning Chinese, some of the hacks that I've used, some of the things that I realized. And most importantly, I will just say this live stream is for those of you guys who don't want generic advice. During the last live stream, I checked out some of the people that some people mentioned here. And what I noticed was I checked out their advice, and they have no clarity in what they say. So, for example, like use Anki cars or use sentence mining or expose yourself, practice the language, like those things are so vague. It's like, okay, so let me be very precise. So the goal of this particular live stream, the thing that I want to basically tell you here is that I will give you some of the hacks, some of the things that probably nobody will tell you online, or the things that people tell online are kind of generic, like practice the language as much as you can. If you want to learn Chinese, practice it. Find your hobby. Find native speakers. Use Anki cards to memorize vocabulary. Vocabulary is the most important thing. It's like, okay, so how do, like, those videos, if you watch them and if you think that they will, like, if they're useful for you, right? Like, what are the actual numbers? What are the actual things that you can apply from those videos, right? I hope that this won't be the fact about my live stream, right? Last time I told you guys that um actually, let me turn on the light. I think it's too dark. Just a second. Right, now it's better. Last time I told you guys that my free advice is you can basically go out, buy the textbooks, and buy the textbooks and finish three textbooks, right? So this is the practical advice that I gave. What does it mean, practical advice? Practical advice is measured in numbers, time frames, right? Numbers and time frames. I told you you can finish 3 to 4 textbooks within the next 3 to 6 months, and you'll start speaking, right? So this is one of the frameworks that I'm using on my program, and you can use this advice for free. So this is the actual method that you can use, right? As opposed to, hey, let's do like Anki cards. And I'm like, okay, so what do you mean? Like, how many Anki cards should I do? What kind of vocabulary should I do? How can I memorize it? How do I build sentences with it? Like, so there are more questions than answers about those bullshit methods that people are talking about online. Even those people who are absolutely great in like when speaking this particular language, Chinese, right? So, like, today I'm going to be talking about more of a practical stuff that you guys will be applying um out there. You can go out and just leave me your testimonials and comments and tell me how it goes, right? So tell me that you bought. I have a free community on school.com/victory talking, right? School.com/victory talking. Join that free community. It's absolutely free. I have a 5-day Chinese challenge, which is also free. It's 6 hours of content. So I'm putting out a lot of content. So by the way, on October 1st, we're already setting the time for the new coaching program. Starting from October 1st, it will be a 3-month Chinese Accelerator 2.0 coaching program. There will be 2 subjects. Everything will be only in Chinese, and I'll talk about a little bit what it means for you. Even if you don't join, if you can join, I'll tell you like what to do in terms of your own learning. And we already have people who are setting the time. It will be 7:30 EDT, or the classes will be, let me see. It will be 8:30 p.m. Korean time on Tuesdays and Thursdays. 8:30 p.m. Korean time on Tuesday, and EDT it will be 7:30 a.m. So basically twice a week. So if you want to join, if you want to get actually, like, if you want to go from zero to conversational, click the link in the description, fill out the form, and hop on a call with my team. We already have people. There will be like up to 5 people in the group, very small group. Best system for learning Chinese in the world. 2 textbooks, 2 different subjects. One of the subjects is comprehensive Chinese, another one spoken Chinese. Absolutely great stuff. So let's actually get closer to the subject of this live stream. One of the things that I wanted to tell you, so how do you, like, the premise of this live stream that I gave, like, how do you actually start speaking, how do you get conversational Chinese in 3 months? The answer to this question is that you should actually start speaking from day one. But this sounds kind of vague. What if I tell you, okay, so you need to start speaking from the one? Okay, so whatever. Like, you go out, you'll be like, okay, Victor, like, how to do it? I live in New York, or I live, like, although we have Chinatown, should I just like go to Chinatown every day and buy something there? Or, for example, there are apps like HelloTalk. You can hop on HelloTalk and use voice chats there. Okay, so this is like kind of closer to like speak from day one. But what if I would tell you that actually speaking from day one means that you should have hours of immersion every week when you hear only Chinese and you can respond only in Chinese? This is what I'm doing right now in my programs. Basically, what it means is that when you hear Chinese, let's say every other day or every day, you immerse yourself. When you go out and you practice with Chinese people, you don't have to put on some kind of front. You don't have to think, what is the word? What should I say? Like, what? How do you say like this? How do you order food? How do you do this? How do you respond to this? It's all automatic from day one. And this is how you start speaking. At first, during the 3 month period, I would recommend you to do like 3 month goals, 6 month goals. So basically, at first, like the very first day, what you do is that you like, I would recommend to basically do these kind of programs where you just the teacher asks you questions in Chinese, you answer in Chinese from day one. We have just another client here joined. It was his first class. It's not even Accelerator 2.0 program. It's another program. It was his first class, and he was just like, the teacher asked him question in Chinese, and he was like answering in Chinese on day one. So if you do this kind of behavior every single day, or every week, a few times a week, what happens is that your brain gets used to hearing Chinese, understanding Chinese. It's not something that you learn from the textbook and then you go out and practice it. You should live it. You should live it. Again, how do you do it? Let me go like to the practical stuff, because like I said, it's just like people who give out advice in terms of learning languages. It's like very vague. It's either very vague or they're promoting some apps. Okay, so the difference between me and them is because, first of all, I have my own app now, and also I have my own stuff that I'm promoting that I believe in, right? It's kind of different when you promote somebody else's like Duolingo app or some stuff like this. And most of the time, to be honest, just like conflict of interest, because those people who achieved great results in the language that they're learning, they don't promote the methods that they've used. Listen, those textbooks that I'm promoting, like I'm not promoting them, but those textbooks, I tell you, go out and finish 3 damn textbooks. Finish 3 textbooks. I did that. Everything that I say that made me fluent in Chinese, I did that. I did all of that. Everything that I said made me fluent in Korean, same textbooks. You don't say Korean. I tell you, finish them. So basically every single thing. But those people, those polyglots online who say, oh, okay, so you can use this great app to learn languages. I'm like, okay, so the company obviously just paid you for that, but it's okay. I mean, if you believe in what you say, but like, did you use this method to become fluent or conversational? If not, why do you tell people that it will work? There is a conflict of interest, like clear thing. Everything that I'm saying on my live streams, you need to be clear. Every single thing that I'm saying, every single sentence, using Chinese from day one, using textbooks, having Chinese classes in Chinese. This is what we're going to be starting from October. Previously, we had it, but only for advanced students who became fluent after that. All those things I'm telling you because I did them. People try to argue with me. Okay, I was like, okay, you can argue with me. I have track record. I have track record of my clients who became fluent in conversational. You can argue as much as you want, but the track record is there. There are testimonials I have, not only from Chinese, it's just like, dude, Chinese like 20% of what I'm doing now, right? So we have like 10 plus languages. So it's like, it's not even my main thing. The thing is that it works for different languages, even for Spanish as well. If you like I said, if your friend is learning Spanish, show him this live stream and tell him, all right, why don't you learn Spanish with Ola Latina, for example, right? Ola Latina International book series, where you can finish like 5 books and it will bring you to some level, right? So basically, This is the most important thing that you need to understand. Everything that I say is just worked for me. It's a personal testimonial. I'm not promoting something new that like people like, hey, you can use this and that. This is the first thing. Second thing is it's very precise in terms of the fact that I know how much you need to study. I know how many textbooks, how many pages you need to finish. I know how many characters you need to finish. People always like they used to shit on like HSK tests, saying that it doesn't measure speaking. Well, actually, HSK test does measure a lot of knowledge, though. It doesn't measure speaking in Chinese, although there is HSK test. But even preparing for HSK, just preparing for HSK is actually a really good way to learn Chinese. All of you guys, like practical advice from this live stream. If you're writing, if you're taking notes, first note that you should take finishing 3 textbooks and speaking from day one. Finishing those textbooks in Chinese when speaking Chinese on Chinese speaking classes. So you need to find classes that you use Chinese to speak Chinese. It's either in China or online. I have my own program with professional teachers who worked at the university for the whole life, teaching that stuff and brought people from zero to conversation. I personally also taught and teaching also as well, bringing people from zero to conversational, not only in Chinese but also in Korean. So the most important thing is that, and the same logic goes for all languages, by the way. The same logic. So the thing is that the most important stuff that you need to understand. So the first thing is finishing 3 textbooks. Second thing is 3 to 4 textbooks. The more, the better. At the beginning to become conversational. The second thing is tracking your time every day, right? I'm talking about it. We even created our own app for that, 6-day lingo. So 68-day challenge. The third thing is basically, so as for the HSK exam, it's like such a long story. Like I've passed HSK exam and like after like 8 months in China. It was a challenge, to be honest. I wouldn't say it was easy because I had to like memorize a lot of words and like do a lot of speed reading. For me, reading part was really, I passed like HSK 5. We needed 4, but I passed like 5 in 2017. In summer, I went to China for the first time in August 2016, at the end of August. So basically, it took me like it wasn't even a year because I left China for like 2 months in between. So, but I was speaking Chinese pretty much every single day. When I went to China, I was speaking Chinese every single day. So the next hack, if you're writing it down, is from day one you need to start having the fastest way. You can start having classes in English. It's all good. But if you actually want to speak Chinese in 3 months, not in 6 months, not in 1 year, if you want the most accelerated way, again, there are different ways. Like some things work. Okay, you can start having classes in English and stuff with textbooks. Okay, but if you want to just accelerate your learning to the point that you're learning faster than anybody else on the planet, the first class you need to start speaking Chinese. First class. How do you do that? So you memorize a bunch of phrases like what teacher says, like on in Hanyu Jiaocheng textbook, page number 5 in some edition, I think in second or third edition, or just at the beginning of the textbook. There is a list of phrases that teacher uses and list of phrases that students use. So, for example, when you have a question, you don't say I have a question. You say 我有问题，老师我有问题. Or you can be like 老师我不太明白, like teacher I don't really understand. So or 我听不懂, I don't understand, right? Teacher can switch to English every once in a while, but you should be always pushing yourself to speak Chinese. Like teacher switches to English like on my class like 3% of, or like in normal this kind of classes like 3% of the time. So first day you get used to listening Chinese and you get used to guessing. How is it possible to have classes in Chinese? So many of you guys probably might have doubts like, how is it possible? You've never learned Chinese before. Well, you go through a little bit of preparation first, right? A little bit of preparation. Like, for example, my program, I have like 10 hours of preparation materials in English. But once you start having classes, you're already kind of not completely clueless about Chinese tones, Chinese characters, some basic Chinese words. You know some basic Chinese words. It takes about a few days to prepare, or a week, let's say. Right now we have like 2 weeks to prepare. If you join, click the link in the description. So if you're learning Chinese, if you're not joining this kind of program where you learn Chinese in Chinese, it's a really waste of time. Believe me. My first year of learning Chinese, I was just like wasting it. First 1 year and a half. Yeah, first of all, I thought that I could learn by myself because I had Chinese girlfriend during that time, and I dated her for like 3 years. And I thought that I would become like conversational or fluent in Chinese. Dude, after 3 years, I couldn't say shit. Like I could say like 2 things. 我不是老师，你好，我是学生，你去哪儿? Like four sentences. Where like I'm not a teacher, like some random shit. I'm not a teacher. Where are you going? I'm a student. Hello. And like 你好吗? Like how are you doing? Like 5 or 6 sentences after 3 years. I knew like a couple hundred characters already because I was studying. It was like my minor at the university. I had this Chinese subject. I was also asking my exchange girlfriend about like some things like to correct my sentences when I was just working with the old outdated, like learning with the outdated textbook. But I got pretty good foundation. However, it took me like one year, like more than a year, to get that foundation. It was like such a waste of time. Then I started learning in the proper system. The first thing I noticed, like the very first thing you notice in this kind of like in the proper system, like I said, having Chinese classes in Chinese or Korean classes in Korean or Japanese. I'm learning Japanese. Like I've been learning Japanese in Japanese for like I went through 3 semesters here in Korea. Japanese people teaching Japanese, 3-hour immersions at once. Like we're like on every side I used to go to 3-hour immersion classes. It was all in Japanese. And I finished the last one like in spring. It was like too hot to go there. I used to like commute there. It's pretty far from here. It's in Gangnam area in Seoul. And there were like Japanese teacher teaching only Japanese, like using what kind of textbooks? I think I don't have it here, but it's yeah, I don't have it here, but it's like, oh yeah, Tsukusuku Nihongo. Yeah, you can see it's like this kind of textbook. It's Japanese and Korean. So I used to. So this is Korean, this is Japanese, right? So I used to learn Japanese and Japanese here in Korea, and that's the best thing. I became like when I went to Japan, I wasn't like Japanese, like I was learning only with the textbook and with the YouTube. And dude, I used to listen to Japanese like every single freaking week for hours, man. Like I'm not freaking the fuck out. So the best way to speak Chinese in 3 months is to start because 3 months is pretty damn short. Like people ask me, is it really possible? I'm like, yes, it's really possible. It's really possible if you speak from day one. If you speak Chinese from day one, it's possible. Right now, like I said, we're starting this first test group. I already helped a lot of people to become conversational, even fluent in Chinese. But the thing is that this test group we're starting, the new thing is that we're implementing right now, it will be only in Chinese, like all in Chinese. Like people will get faster results. Normally it gets like about like 6 months. Now we're gonna get it with like doubled the number of everything. It's just and it's only in Chinese. It's like the best structure. Another thing is people ask me, hey Victor, like so basically I have a client, he asked me today how to memorize words. You know, in Chinese there is a word, it's called yongfa. And also Chinese, yeah, there are a lot of things I can tell you here, a lot of wisdom. Although this live is kind of unstructured, not like my coaching sessions, but one thing that you need to understand is when it comes to learning Chinese, there are 2 things that you need to know. 2 things. The first thing is that vocabulary itself, just the word 单词, right? It doesn't really bring you forward in terms of speaking as much as you think. So basically, what it means is that it doesn't bring you forward because let's say you memorize like 200 words or 300 words. You just memorize the translation of them, but you have no idea on how to use them. You know, there is 语法 grammar, right? 单词 words. But the most important thing is 用法 usage, the law of usage, right? So basically the usage of words, the connections, the phrases is the most important thing. So when I'm learning Chinese, like when I'm learning Chinese myself and how my teachers in my team teach Chinese and how I teach Chinese, is that we look at the word and we don't just say, oh, okay, so this word, like how the translation of this word. Let me just take some random word, I don't know, from one of my textbooks here, one of the texts like that I'm reviewing now. So let me just take some random word that I reviewed recently. So for example, 无法 it means to be unable to do something, right? And I don't just memorize the word 无法, I just memorize 无法生存, 无法解释, 无法解释, 无法统计, right? So there is no way to exist, no way to explain, no way to 无法处理, no way to explain, no way to calculate. So I don't just memorize the word, you see? This is the word list, and everything around this word is like all in like written like different phrases. That's one of hundreds of secrets that I have on my program that is just like crazy. It's like it makes your learning very interesting, exponential. You don't memorize the word, you memorize the tree, right? So one word, how do you use it? You don't memorize one word, you memorize like 5 usages. So this is wisdom number 1. If you're writing this down, it's really practical. Nobody will teach you that except for me. Nobody. So this is the first thing. Second thing is, and I didn't just master Chinese, okay? I'm Russian, I'm speaking English right now. I live in Korea, I speak Korean every single day. If you know what I mean, right? So this is the first thing. I'm telling you the wisdom for learning every language, right? So this is the first thing. 可以确实是好记法。还有一个就是外国人是一个词一个词的学习，但是中国人是一个字一个字的学习，就是一个字不是学习，是也可以说学习，也可以说背，也可以说理解。这个意思是，如果你想就是背下来一个单词，你看这个单词有几个汉字，然后这个字每个字的意思是什么？比如说见面，见的意思是什么？面的意思是什么？Right? So basically, what it means is that when you learn Chinese, most of the Chinese words right now, we just learn the word, right? So 无法, for example, no way to, right? In my Chinese, don't get me perfect, right? So I get compliments, like I still have like accents in all languages I speak, including Russian. I mispronounce some Russian sound R in Russian, right? But there is when you learn Chinese, get a Chinese wife or girlfriend, side chick, and date. Dude, it's the most useless advice ever. I dated Chinese girl for 3 years. I was zero in Chinese, okay? Every single I have half of the people in my program, they were married. I have one-on-one client. His name is Aaron. He's married. He can't speak Chinese. So it's not related to who you marry. Your wife will not be teaching you how to learn characters and all those techniques that I'm telling you. It's real out of the equation. It's a myth that I also subscribe to myself. So I'm not judging, right? So basically, the technique that I'm just a side note, right? It does help, by the way. It does help. Don't get me wrong. Like getting a girlfriend or wife, I have Korean girlfriend, speak Korean. It does help my speaking, but it doesn't help me like progressing the language, right? In terms of like becoming smarter in it. Like from scratch, you can't bring the language from like zero to conversational fluent within like 6 months if you just have like Chinese girlfriend or wife or whatever. All right. So basically, what did I just say in Chinese? When foreigners learn Chinese, they just learn like this. Like, so they have this list of words, and one word has like one translation. One word, one translation, right? You see? Word pinyin translation. They're like, okay, I need to memorize. So I already said the first thing. What was it? Don't memorize the word, memorize the phrase. 不要背单词，要背句子, right? So this is the first thing. What is the second thing? You need to translate every character in a word. Most Chinese words consist of 2 characters, right? Do you believe me? Should they look here? Just a random list of words. How many characters are in one word? Sometimes 3, right? But most of them. By the way, ancient Chinese, I heard it had like 1 character for one word. 2 characters, right? 2 characters. 2个字, right? 汉字写的不太好，歪歪扭扭的。写不了。So 一看就是外国人写汉字，我觉得。So basically, most of the words that I just showed, right? The chat is inactive, guys. Put just two. 写的比我好看，我不知道，我觉得我写的没有你好看。So 2 characters, right? All words have two characters. So, for example, the words like meat, like 见面, for example, right? Let me put it in chat here. 见面. Just a simple example. I used to make this example. It means to see face. See face. 面 it means face. 见 it means to see, right? So you translate 见 and you translate 面. Of course, it means to meet somebody, but you translate every character in the word. Why? It's because you see this 面 in so many other words, and you see this 见 in so many other words as well, right? So many words. Like you can take any word from like ufa, like the example that I just gave. Like what is wu, what is fa, right? So translate every character in the word, right? U it means no, right? Fa it means no way, basically. It means no way, right? So if you do that, your learning becomes exponential. Why? It's because instead of learning just one word, you learn freaking three words, dude. Because because you learn the building blocks. Those building blocks, you might see the word that you don't know, but you might just know one thing in this word, like one character out of two character word, and you'll be able to guess. So this is hack number 2. I hope you guys writing it down. The quality of content I'm giving you right now is the same as on my coaching sessions. I hope you're writing it down, right? It's for free. It's for free. It's very easy to overlook. Don't think it's less valuable because it's free here, right? I'm a professional language coach. I help people. I create programs for so many languages, and people from 50 plus countries went through my paid programs. I'm not a YouTuber, right? So if you notice, I don't even really put out that many YouTube videos recently. So basically, what I'm trying to say here is that you need to take this stuff seriously because it really works. And the story goes like this. Like I actually we have influence from somebody, but I want to admit I actually got influenced by my uncle, right? My uncle. So my uncle became fluent in Chinese. I didn't meet him like every single day. It was like I just met him like a couple times, in my life. And I remember he heard that I had this minor like at my university, in my university, like the Chinese subject. And I said I want to learn Chinese, and he said, Victor, you need to know two things about learning characters. I was like, what are those? First one is like how to write them, right? Yeah, he showed me how to write them. I knew about it already. Second thing is he said, when you learn words, translate each character. I was like, okay, I know that. Like translate each character, right? Like I just showed you, right? The another thing that he told me, I also kind of knew about it, but I was a little bit overlooking it. It's called 214 radicals. I already mentioned it on my other live streams. So I'll answer some of the good questions here, guys. You can post these questions. I'll just scroll through it and I'll just look at it, right? So you can post your questions. Don't hesitate to ask. And he said, he told me about radical. So radical is a part of the character which shows the meaning of it. And you can use apps like Train Chinese, like Dictionary app, great app. And it also shows the radical as well. Find 214 Chinese radicals. I hope you're writing this down as if you've paid for it. Again, what is the first thing I said? Memorize always. Don't memorize the word. Memorize phrases with this word, right? Don't memorize just one word. Memorize like five phrases or sentences, word pairs, right? Two word pairs, like two word phrases, 3 word phrases, and so on and so forth. Second thing, translate each character in the word. Third thing, memorize radicals. Radicals show the meaning of the character. They're inside the character. Memorize radicals, right? So this is 4 things that will accelerate your learning like crazy. They will accelerate your learning. And I already gave out so much content in my previous live stream. And the very first thing, 确实专业，我不是专业，不是这么专业的。我们有就是我们老师的专业。So basically, the most important thing is you need to take this, like everything I said, really serious, guys. This is probably the best thing I can tell you. Go out and practice by yourself. I have a client, he bought my $47 course. It worked for him. He became conversational advanced in Spanish. He enrolled into my coaching program. But it's always that the minority applies the things that you teach. Like out of this live stream, like I said, at best, are like one, two people will do that, right? I hope this will be you, right? Like the you. Yeah, I hope this will be you. Yeah, I hope you'll apply it. What is the thing that I started with? Let's just wrap everything up here. The first thing, the best way to start speaking Chinese in 3 months is to start speaking from day one. And the best way to start speaking from day one is to start having classes in Chinese, using Chinese, listening to Chinese, answer questions in Chinese from day one. I already have clients doing that. If you want to start with my new test group, click the link. We're starting on October 1st. We will not accept anyone. We already have 2 people. And we're already established the time. It will be 7:30 a.m. EDT. I'm not sure. I know it's 7:30 p.m. Chinese time, 8:30 p.m. Korean time, twice a week, right? So join before October 1st. We're closing on October 1st because the group goes really fast. If you join, it's like you'll be out, like it will be just like a nightmare. Okay, so we cannot accept anybody after October 1st. Normally, I can put people in some groups. That particular one, I will not be able to. So start speak or find some alternative. Like go to China, right? The best thing. People ask me, Victor, I have this choice. Should I like do this or like go to China or take like I was like, dude, you should do both, man. You should do both. Do this and that after. Like do all the programs. Listen, I myself went through more than 10 programs for learning Chinese, Korean, Japanese. For Japanese, I went through like 3 or 4 courses, full offline, online courses. Um, so basically, this is the best thing. The best thing to be in some kind of program with discipline, with scheduled classes, people who guide you, set of materials, goals, everything like that. So um, find the alternative that works for you. This is the best advice I can give you. I already shared my story last time with courses, with how I was in China. I was going through a lot of courses myself, working part time. I was coming to Korea so many times, like taking courses here, practicing every single day, right? So this is how I learned Korean, basically while living in China. Um, so the next thing, and I shared like first one, start using Chinese from day one. Previous advice from the previous live stream: finish 3 to 4 textbooks within the next 3 to 6 months. um and what, like, the wrapping up about characters is, first thing is memorize the usages of them, Jungfa, right? Next one is translate each character in a word. Next one is memorize radicals, right? So these are the most important things that you should know about learning Chinese. And I'm not even talking about some basic stuff like 4 Chinese stones, or like how to pronounce them, or hey, Chinese language has characters. Hey, you can like do like some weird sentence finding stuff. Like I'm not talking about those things. Or you can use this Duolingo app where you can just connect the word with a picture and hello, this is how you learn. All right, connect the word with the picture. Okay, what should I do next? I can't say the shit. I can say fucking shit. I cannot say anything. Like, what should I do? It's like, and people are like in comments like, but you know what? Duolingo worked for me. I use this term. I'm like, okay, dude, please post yourself speaking like for 10 minutes with a person. I'll believe you that you learn from this app. Don't bullshit me, okay? And other clown just said, but this worked for me. I'm learning Chinese from YouTube videos, and now I can just understand a couple pages of the text. I'm like, dude, like, give me a break, dude. Like, after 3 months, you'll be nowhere. Like, some people using the methods that I told them about, they will be running circles around you, reading in Chinese, writing if they want to master writing, speaking Chinese. Okay. So, okay, guys, thank you so much. I'm just a little bit like going to rant. Let's let's go with questions. Let's go with questions. No, dude, like, don't, guys, don't be offended by this, right? So if somebody tells me, Victor, like, you're just on the wrong path in something, I'm on the wrong path in so many things. Just recently I was on the wrong path with my diet. I'm on the diet now, like, and I'm like, people are just like, Victor, you're like, really, you're doing it wrong. And somebody told me that, and I was like, okay, so it opened my eyes. Don't take methodology personally. Method is not something that you should take personally, right? You should ask yourself whether it actually works for you or not. That's it. If it works for you, keep doing that. Prove me wrong or somebody else wrong, right? Ask yourself whether it works for you or not. Listen, I became fluent in Chinese after 3 to 4 months. I became day to day fluent, like conversational fluent. Every single day I was speaking Chinese. Every single day. 3 4 months, first 3 4 months in China. Every single freaking day. What was the secret? Speaking Chinese from day one. Not YouTube videos, dude. Speaking Chinese. Although YouTube videos help, there is a in my 17 steps in my accelerator training also there is a principle which is called massive exposure. It's one of them. I don't say that watching YouTube or watching videos in Chinese doesn't help. I'm just saying from zero to conversational fluent, watching YouTube videos, I don't think it will help. I don't think so. Okay, so Andrea said, I speak 3 languages, and now I find it really hard to learn German or any other language. Uh, the comment, I think, Andrea, probably is because maybe those 3 languages that you speak, maybe you kind of naturally acquired them. So this is what I found with bilingual friends is that they speak couple languages and they learned English, like they speak like Chinese and Korean, they learn English, but for them to actually master the language on the highest level, it's hard because they used to just think of a language as a given, as something natural. That's why actually many people like use Duolingo apps or like you watch videos because they think it's more natural that they can just like language is something different. It's not like swimming, right? It's not like going to a dent. It's like I'm telling you, if you try to learn the language only by yourself, you're trying to be your own dentist. It's like it's ridiculous. I tried it by myself. People think for some reason that languages is like very natural. They can do it just by talking to people. You can do it by talking to people, but you need to get to intermediate level in your knowledge first, and then you can learn the language while interacting. Every person in my programming value, he finished 5 textbooks, 5 workbooks, and then he said, "Okay, now I can speak to people and learn while speaking." I was like, welcome to my world, bro. But many people, they're dumb enough to think that you can speak the language somehow from day one with no theoretical basis, no textbooks like this. And I'm like, okay, Duolingo, good luck, dude. So, Andrea, probably you should use structure. Get a teacher, get a coach, get textbooks. Start tracking your time. It's hard work. It's not easy. I'm not sure what you mean illiterate in Chinese. You mean like you cannot, in terms of characters, but you know pinyin? I would just say same textbooks, same. It's the same process. It's the same process, guys. To the Yoyo true. Yes, you need to have a basis, right? You need to have a basis first, and then you can understand. You can guess what people say. Would you recommend any extra tip for learning Japanese or same from Brazil? Okay, finish Genki 1. So I'm putting it in the chat. Genki 1, Genki 2 first, and then Quartet 1 and 2. You'll get fluent, bro, with these 4 textbooks, okay? If you speak every single day. That's it. 4 textbooks. Get fluent. Please don't tell me like sentence mining. Okay, tell me like everybody, if somebody again hops on here and tries to argue with me about sentence mining and Enki cards, please answer this question then. How many fucking sentences should I mine, bro? Like what the fuck is that? Sentence mining, man. Like what is mining? Can anybody explain? I heard it last time, like it made me like mad. I was like, these people find you like comprehensive input. I'm like, this new method, like I remember like one of the polyglots created his website, like where you just go and like translate text. I think it's pretty good, but it's like it works like, really awful. I tried it. And it's like, and I'm just like, dude, you don't learn like this. It's like the explanations are horrible, the translations are wrong. It's like it's so weird. And people try to create their own. I'm like, why would you do that if you already have textbooks? They are translated. The text is translated. There are new words from the text. It's pretty much just like, why would you use like the Ling IQ or whatever? It's crazy. Could you please put the Chinese textbooks in chat? Yeah, you can try any textbook from Beijing University Press. Beijing University Press. What's the best way to memorize Chinese characters, bro? Rewatch this whole live stream. I was talking like last time about it. Uh 对，就是玩的那个 APP 多邻国，对，就是不知道怎么开始的时候，就是可以用，大概一个星期。Oh, you're Japanese and Chinese half. So I somewhere I saw the good question, but I forgot to find it. It's pointless to use the lingo because those apps sometimes they just make you addicted, thinking that you achieve something. You know what I would do? What I was doing? Just find a video course like which consists of like 10 videos introducing you to this language. Probably it would be better. It will not make you conversational fluent, of course, but you'll be less afraid to open the textbook because I know like why people escape those things is because they're boring, right? If you make them boring, especially. So I will just say try to get like you can use like free YouTube videos to just get started to just understand what this language is all about. Let's say I want to learn Italian. The first thing I'll do is just like basic Italian, like simple course, like 5 videos. I'll go through it and then I'll get the textbook after that. It's my personal thing that how I used to do it. I guess like the thing that I'm saying why I'm saying that is because I'm trying not to practice. I'm trying not to preach when I don't practice, right? So I'm being very honest and clear and honest with you. If I'm saying I'm using textbooks, yes, I'm using textbooks. But sometimes not from day one. Sometimes I'm like, I just need to understand how this language sounds. I just need to hear that because I'm a listening type. So I might check out some videos if I learn Italian, but it will be like a day, you know. It's like people get stuck for it like on months, thinking that it will help them to speak. I'm like, no, no way. Animes, yeah, of course. But I mean, animes is not to learn the language. Again, guys, like watching animes is not learning. I would say it's just exposing yourself. You don't track this time as learning time. Learning is learning grammar. In Japanese, is learning te form, learning short form. These are the things that you need to learn. Ru verbs, like verbs, right? Groups of this is how you learn. You don't learn groups of verbs in anime. You don't learn te form in anime, right? You don't learn grammatical conjugations in animes, right? How can you learn in animes? It's not. You don't, right? You don't. It's like people try to argue with it, like you don't use textbooks. Like, okay, dude, like, okay, I want to see how you speak. If you don't speak, just shut the fuck up, bro. You know shit. You don't know shit, man. Like you're nobody. It's like me trying to argue with somebody like about car engines. I don't know shit about car engines. How can I argue about it? I don't know anything. How can you argue about something you don't even know? I see some stupid Russians here talking about an accent in Russian. That I have Russian accent. The craziest thing is that it's only Russian mofos who care about it the most, man. Like it's crazy. The only type of people who care about my accent are Russians. The reason why is because they themselves couldn't learn English, and this is the only thing that they can comprehend and understand. So they still like. I'm like, dude, like there's so many stupid people. It's crazy. Like in Russia, it's crazy, man. Like I look at comments. I became racist against my own country. Please give me a break, bro. Like every single Russian mofo like commenting stupid stuff here, like, dude, you're creating bad image about your own country. Now I can understand why people get racist against Russians because you guys are so fucking dumb. Couldn't live, and they also comment in Russian too. They can't even speak English, but they comment about the English accent while commenting in Russian, while being Russian. I'm like, dude, what the hell are you saying? Let's hop on Instagram Live. I'll hear your pronunciation. The best in the world. commenting on my accent. Like, dude, you are fucking clown. Um, and the reason why is because in Russia, 99% of people can't speak English. Like like some people have this misconception is that Russian people can speak English. I'm like, where did you take it from? I'm not sure about St. Petersburg and Moscow, but like, dude, in my hometown, Vladivostok, I was the only one in the whole fucking university writing scientific papers in English. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Who in Russia speaks English? Like, you can approach a random person on the street, they'll be having hard time having like a 5 minute conversation. And so they see like another person just there, another person from Russia not learning English, but learning Chinese on top of that, then learning Korean on top of that, and learning Japanese on top of that. They're like, fuck, what does it say about me? I couldn't even learn fucking English. And they start commenting on the accent to protect themselves because they themselves couldn't even learn fucking English, which is like basic skill. So it's crazy. Funny stuff. They can't even understand what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Many people like with low literacy. Another thing, another myth, by the way, is that people think that being from the country makes you literate in the language. Most Russians I saw cannot write one-page essay without making 10 mistakes or 20 mistakes. Like I said, Russian writing is very hard. I got 23 out of 23 points on my high school graduation exam, and my Russian exam was the best from the whole school. The best from the whole school. My Russian was the best from the whole public school that I went to. I got 2300 out of 100 points on my essay. No mistakes. To every single comma, every single grammar point. And the reason is that literacy, most Russians can't even get this literacy in Russian. You see like comments, people commenting in Russian. I'm like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? Your Russian is like, you learn, you watch videos of a polyglot speaking different languages. You comment in Russian, you're trying to hate, but even your Russian is like it has so many mistakes, dude. Like your IQ is like zero, bro. Right? So it's like I'm kind of crazy with Russian because people commenting in Russian is like every single fucking comment has mistakes. Every single fucking comment. So basically, this is just a really low level. I know, like because English is the language of so many accents. As long as I don't do the Indian accent, you guys can understand what I'm saying. But if I try to do Indian accent, I get so many more haters. You don't understand what I'm saying. I try to do my Indian accent, right? So as long as I'm not doing the Indian accent, it's all good. So one of my clients told me how to do Indian accent. One of my clients from Dubai, he said, you just twist the tongue, you put it like back, and everything you say sound like this. Plus you add the intonation. So basically, accent, yeah, my accent, I would say it's less heavy than fuckers that comment. Fuckers that comment like less heavy than fuckers that comment. Because they accent is like this. If they speak like this is why they comment. This is why they're basically the best, the pimp. So this is how they speak. Those Russian who's like, you have Russian accent. They come like this. Like if they would say it out loud, they'd be like, you have Russian accent. They'd be like this. Dude, it's like so fucking funny. Yeah, it's like as long as you like, I think I want to master other accents. I'm not thinking about getting rid of the accent. I think how can I master other accent? Like how can I master Indian accent perfectly, for example? How can I master like some weird, like really funny accent? Right. So I want to master accents. I don't want to get rid of them, man. Like they're so funny. Even when I speak Chinese, there is like a Dumbai accent, like Dumbai Hua. Dumbai Hua is so funny, man. Like I cannot say I mastered it. It's just it's like oh my, like there are different levels to it, but it's like sometimes people talk to me like, what the hell is this guy saying to me? It's like I couldn't understand. So Dumbai is like the heaviest, I think, out of all accents. Yeah, so I see pretty good comments here as well, like in Chinese. Rate America's wanted, dude. I subscribe to American culture so much. Like most of the books I read are in English, like from America. like my major is economics. I started learning economics in English. Economics pretty much originated in America. So I mean, I'm great fan of a culture, right? Great fan of a culture of so many countries. I would say I would rate every country's culture 10 out of 10. There is nothing better because the culture itself, like it has so many good things. Everything in culture is great. Even my own country's culture, although there are so many mofos like from the chat, um, from Russia and in comments. But there are so many great people too, and the culture itself is great. My girlfriend sometimes tries to argue with me. I was like, Russian culture has this, and it's so great. But it's like, but you don't like your government. How can you tell? I was like, dude, it's not. It's not. It's different. Like I love the culture. I love Russian culture. I just don't like the how like people live in Russia. I just don't like living in Russia. I don't like when I go out in my white shoes and everything fucking gets dirty after 5 minutes. I don't like the neighborhood I grew up in. I don't like my hometown as much, right? So there's so many things I like, but so many things I don't like as well. But the culture, like there's so many great things. I know, like one of the great things about Russian culture that I noticed is that people say thank you a lot, a lot. Sometimes you have a coaching session with the client and they don't say thank you at the end. And it's often, it's like in many cultures, they don't say thank you. Like, for example, in Chinese culture, if you say xie, it's like you don't really say xie to your friend. Your friend will be like, xie 什么xie? Like, 不客气, 不要谢. Like, it's like they will be like, why do you thank me, right? But in Russia, we just say thank you all the time. It's like a gratitude mindset. And I like it so much about culture. This is something that I couldn't see in like in many other cultures. Like the gratitude, all like you always say thank you about like smallest things. About yeah, there are so many great things. Like about American culture, the great thing is entrepreneurship. It's like wow, entrepreneurship culture and just like believing in yourself and the whole self-help industry. Like it's just it was born in America. Some things that are in China, like the deepest wisdoms in Chinese culture, they don't get translated. This is why they're not like very known by the people. But Chinese culture is also very deep. So many deepest things that people like in Korea practice now, thinking like, oh, it's our culture. It's actually Confucianism, because Korean culture was shaped by three main streams: Confucianism, shamanism. Shamanism is the oldest one, and Buddhism. Three, and Neo-Confucianism as well, right? So basically, the thing is that Confucianism came from China, but even Chinese people don't. Sometimes even they don't practice Confucianism as much as Korean people do. Sometimes, right? So and basically, but the culture itself, like some of the parts originated in this part of the world, or some of the parts, Chinese culture is actually is extremely deep. The best things that you see in Japanese and Chinese in Korean cultures could be also originated from Chinese culture, from ancient Chinese cultures, right? So basically, the best things that I see in Korea, I'm thinking about it. Like that, like they do this and this and this and this and this, but it's like it's considered to be Confucianism, and that Confucianism culture that Confucianism is not even practiced in China as much as it's practiced in Korea, right now. This hierarchy, for example, the hierarchy, in China, hierarchy kind of disappeared. Like people are a little bit more equal than in Korea. Everything is about hierarchy. So um, every single thing, um, every single thing I would say is just every single culture has very good things if you learn it. I just want to be honest. I just want to be exposed to more cultures. That's why you learn languages. You cannot learn the language without learning the culture, and the opposite is also true, that you cannot learn the culture without learning the language, right? So that's yes, Beijing University Press. What did you watch when learning Chinese? So I recommend this show, which is called they stopped. They actually wanted together. It's called 世界青年说. 世界青年说. It's the show where foreigners speak Chinese. I liked it because it was so fun to watch. They're like weird accents and shit, but it was so fun to watch. You can also like see how foreigners who speak Chinese well, who speak Chinese with not as good of an accent, or and how Chinese people speak Chinese, and you see this like contrast. And by the way, like you learn by seeing other foreigners who speak good Chinese. You learn from them even sometimes even more than from Chinese people. This is crazy because like I also thought that practicing the language with like with the classmate is not a good thing. You need to practice with a native. No, it's really good. It's really good. Having practice partners is really good on the same level as you or like a little bit more like above. Yeah, what do you think about Duolingo? It's completely ineffective, guys. Like I said, it's just you need to use textbooks. You need to invest in courses. You need to invest in courses. This is the thing. Like whatever you want to tell me, like you can get skeptical. Don't listen to me. Try to do what you do. Make a note in your like on your iPhone. Victor told me to take courses. I think his advice is bullshit. I'm trying to do it by myself. September 16. Okay. So in 1 year from now, where will you be? Okay. So and just think about it. It's like track it. If it doesn't work in 1 year, just come back to me and ask me like, okay, what actually works? Let me try this one. I'll tell you the same thing. It's the same. If you want to learn, for example, like any kind of skill, let's say Facebook advertising, or like you want to learn business, you want to like you learn from people more than you learn from just from the like this textbook that I'm saying. It's useless if you don't learn with a person. You learn from people. This textbook you learn through people, right? So every single skill that you want to master, be it sales, business, marketing, swimming, I don't know, like any, it should be learned from people who already done it, who already did it, or who are professionals in it. Whatever is another thing, it's slower than that thing. If it's an app or AI or something else, AI is it's good to it's good to practice if you know how, but I wouldn't even practice with it to be honest. It's really boring to me. It's really boring for me. Yo, so about some JLPT topic, somebody asked me. So I passed HSK at IELTS in the past, like for learning English, so many years ago. JLPT I didn't pass. A topic I was preparing for 5-6, but my Korean was so good, so the company said you don't need it. So it's like I was just like on the interview. It's like, but do you have topic? It's like, yeah, I can take it if you want. They're like, okay, no, we just can understand each other perfectly. Okay, so okay, so basically there is no period. So like I don't need it because sometimes I need to get visa. Now I don't like I in the future if I need to like upgrade some visa or some other stuff. I mean, I will probably pass it like 5-6 level. It's pretty fun. Audio group. How did you learn Chinese? Yeah, rewatch this whole live stream and the previous one. In short, you know the short answer. I went through damn a lot of courses, but fully 3 semesters of full Chinese in Chinese. You do what I say, guys. You go, you learn, go out, learn Chinese and Chinese, go to China. I have clients. So okay, like my client David, right, M- from New York, applied my advice, learn Chinese to conversational level before going to China. First day in China, he could speak Chinese, solved all his issues. For Americans to go to China is really hard. You need to go through like police stations and like and a lot of documentation work and everything. It's also a little bit dangerous too. And so he got his apartment in Chinese, got a SIM card, got everything done. He applied to university. He got accepted. He started there. He learned Chinese in Chinese for a semester in China, and he was in the most advanced group there. From my after my program, after applying everything I said. 2 years ago, he came to me. He's like, Victor, I don't know. Will you teach me Chinese or will you teach me how to learn Chinese? I said, David, I'll do both. And he was learning also with the native teacher as well. and this where this where he is, and this worked for him so much. He got so excited. I was like, okay, like, and he's a programmer, so we decided to partner on an app for time tracking because time tracking is so important, and we are creating this 68 lingo app for tracking your time every day, right? So it's you track how many minutes you study, uh learning language in 68. This was like a 68-day challenge. So it's so important that, like, it's so important that people even create apps around some of the things. We even create apps together around some of the things that methods from what I teach. It's really important. It really works. Any skill. If you want to master programming, track how many hours you learn programming. Track hours, track hours, track hours, like in everything you do. Hi, Victor, and good morning from New York. There was a video I saw before. I don't know if it was from you or someone else, but they spoke about learning a language with the book that has 8 levels. I'm not sure which textbook. I'm not necessarily 8 levels. You can go through. Okay, for becoming fluent in Chinese, you can go to 1-1, 1-2, 2-1, 2, 3, like 6 to 8 textbooks. You'll be 6 textbooks. You'll be pretty much fluent already. 8 is like more advanced kind of stuff. Duolingo is not that bad for what? It's like saying that, like, in order to swim, you need to just move your finger like this, and it won't be that bad. I mean, it's like it's not that bad, but it's like it does like 0.00000000001% of what it's actually needed to become fluent in Chinese. Duolingo is like salad, but you need the beef. Dude, Duolingo is like a drop of water. This is what Duolingo is. 我的中文不流利，但是我啥学中文3年了，3年了。如果你在中国用中文学习中文的话，那可能是你的中文已经流利了。用中文学习中文是最好的办法，最佳的办法。不要用英文。Can you speak German? No, I cannot speak German, but we do have a German coaching program. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I actually did it like twice as long as I planned. You can also put some questions in comments. I might answer them. 8 stages in one book. I'm not sure. No, I didn't mention anything like that. All right. Thank you so much. Еще один, блядь, дебил пришел с России. I'm just fucking getting sick from those Russian people. Dude, if I see another Russian, I should see like 100 more stupid Russian comments, and I'll just delete all Russian subtitles from the channel. It's like it will not take me long, like to get like really mad. Okay, so on my own country's people. All right, thank you so much for joining, guys. One thing, like, we're starting in October. We're starting in October, right? On October 1st, join my coaching program. It's the best in the world, because the reason why it's not only because I myself learned multiple languages and helped a lot of people, is because we've changed it, and right now we're working with the best teachers in the world, the best teachers from like who actually studied at those universities or from those universities, Beijing University, and they already took a lot of people to fluent level. The best teachers in the world, very structured. So basically, and I have the best methods in the world on how to learn languages. So the thing is that my methods are also developed not based on like learning Italian or some stuff with some language which is really similar to English or Russian. My methods are based on learning the most difficult languages in the world. Korean and Chinese and Japanese, all of them are category 5 in the difficulty of languages, if you know what I mean. Italian or French is category 1, right? So check out the categories of languages in terms of difficulty, and you'll understand what I say. All my methods, they work because they really hard fucking core, really hardcore. So click the link in the description, apply. Not everybody will get through the filter, but do it, apply. Try to apply, hop on a call with my team, ask them questions. Right now the time is set. I'll just tell them the time. We will not accept other students after October 1st. The thing that I'll do with this specific group is that I'll take all testimonials, I'll publish them, and I'll say, hey, these are the testimonials from that specific group that I told you to join on October 1st. And we have really good success rate recently, like really good success rate. So if you apply all the steps, guaranteed you'll become conversational fluent in Chinese. Guaranteed. Next 3 months, conversational in Chinese, you can have like 10, 20, 30-minute conversation. You can have classes for hours without switching to English from day one. So click the link in the description, get the best methods, best tools, or feel free not to do it if you don't like feeling it. Go out and apply everything that I said and let me know afterwards. Let me know in 1 year. Let me know. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.